So a quick Google search will turn up literally hundreds of thousands of hits on best ways to achieve fat loss, 3 ways to make weight loss happen, or how to achieve the ultimate transformation. And what I'm getting at is there is so much information out there when it comes to fitness, nutrition, health, body composition change, lifestyle improvement, and it can be frustrating for you. It can be confusing. It can be sometimes tough for me, and it's what I do for a living. And the reality is that there is a lot of information out there in the fitness and nutrition world that is misleading, is not fully based in facts, or is downright wrong. And it can make it very tough to get started on a program when we have that type of information being presented to us. And it can absolutely create some awesome changes, especially in the short term. You can see big weight loss, you can see big body fat change, we can see total body transformations. And many times it leads to behavior changes that in the long run might actually be more damaging than helpful. My name is Blake Denny, owner of Unlimited Training Systems here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And one of the things we focus on is teaching people how to find their start and the best approach for them that can create long-term sustainable change with short-term wins along the way. And in today's video, I want to talk about those very ideas and information that you find on that Google search. And I want to bring up 3 to 4 things you could start focusing on right now to move forward towards your weight loss and fat loss goals if that's what you're looking for. And they don't require counting a calorie. They don't require understanding fully your macros. And they don't put you into a state of restriction and frustration that happens when we go on many fat loss or weight loss programs. So let's start with number 1. Many times when we start a nutrition program, we get told to count these calories, to track your food, to write down all of your macros and hit this, this, and this on a day in terms of your protein and your carbs. Or we get told, yeah, just cut out all carbs and you'll be all good, you'll lose weight. Or maybe even more, we get told the ridiculous idea of, yeah, just don't eat after 7 p.m. That way your body can process things better. Obviously, these are not rooted in fact. But one area that we love to talk about and start with is our very relationship with food. We like to start by talking about the idea of hunger and fullness. These two can go hand in hand, but also can be broken out into a separate discussion. But ultimately, when we look at a day, if we start paying attention to when we're hungry and how hungry we are, we will start to become more aware of when we need to eat or how much we need to eat. Piggyback that with the idea of talking about fullness and how full are we as we eat a meal? Are we taking our time through a meal? Are we 80% full? Are we completely full? Are we overstuffed? Now, these don't seem like an easy first task to do, and they aren't always, because they do require thinking about how you're feeling in the moment, having awareness of how a meal is affecting you both before and after. But what it does for you is it starts to build that skill of knowing when to stop eating or how much to eat. That way we can start managing portion control down the road while also building the behavioral skills that will set you up for success when we do get more nitty-gritty when it comes to what we're working on with our nutrition. Second thing, we talk about the idea of movement. Now the reality is you don't have to work out super intensely to see change, but you do have to move. And the reality is that when you look at an entire day of people that see success with weight loss or fat loss and people that struggle with it, the people that see success ultimately find that they have higher amounts of non-exercise activity. This can be steps you get on a day. This could be getting up and standing for work from time to time. This could also be literally just fidgeting throughout the day. And those that have higher amounts of that activity see more change over the long run. So one of the first areas we start with whenever we do any program geared to fat loss or weight loss is let's have a discussion about your activity. Because if it's under 5,000 steps per day, you are going to be having more trouble to make that change happen. Now, it doesn't have to be dedicated steps But if we don't have access to a safer walking area, or we don't have full time to go out for 45 to 60-minute walks, we do have to find times to get up, stand, move around in an office, or do some dedicated movement sessions throughout the day. Number 3, we talk about the idea of let's just reduce our snacking on the day, but not even reduce our snacking. Let's just take all our snacks on the day and let's just move them to the meals, right? So that Rice Krispie treat you picked up at 2 or 3 p.m., just move it to your dinner. Those pretzels that you munched on mid-morning, let's just move them to your lunch. And what we do here is we bring in awareness of our grazing throughout the day, when we're actually eating due to stress or boredom. And then we also take and fill those meals with those snacks that cause us to realize, hey, I'm actually already full, I don't need to eat all this. And we'll see a drop in calories overall. Now, these are just 3 main things we can start simply with to make change and move things forward when it comes to fat loss or weight loss, but just feeling good overall. Now, a 4th bonus would be, can we possibly start adding in 1 to 2 days of some dedicated exercise? Now, this doesn't have to be with weights. It doesn't have to be highly intense. It could be simply doing some push-ups at home. It could be doing some split squats or wall sits, anything that allows you to take a dedicated time to get stronger. Because if we can get stronger, then we're going to start to feel a little bit better. We feel a little bit better. We may start to make a more conscious decision of what we eat. And you can see this cycle be created. Many times in this industry, people tell you, no, all the change happens with nutrition, and it absolutely does. But if we can feel better, it's going to typically create a positive cycle that allows us to want to work on all of these things at once. So take a moment and pick one of these to start implementing into your life right now, and I promise you, you'll see steps forward. And while you're at it, go ahead and click the subscribe button and follow our page for a little bit more information. I've also put in the comments a quick link to a tracking sheet that you can start using to see many of these things that we've talked about.